doth fade, but doth suffer a sea change into something rich and strange.
Who's on
and
first?
Sea nymphs hourly ring his knell. I don't know.
That was a joke.
Third base. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Your camera's off, bro.
You might think he's far gone, but we're talking about Armand.
Right.
He's got so much knowledge.
I need to add actual.
And he didn't learn it in college. He wasn't breeding, he was reading.
There you go.
Yeah, I know. That's too bad. Wasting my time.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, should have been in bed with some chick. What a
Instead
wasted
of
youth.
reading, Armand was reading.
Yeah, wasted youth. Should have been in a pool hall, learning a trade.
Instead, you were making the grade.
B's and C's. Yeah, occasional. Got an A in driver's ed.
Yeah?
They're starting to roll in.
Already?
Let them
Wow.
know what's going on.
Yeah, I don't know if they're gonna. This would be quite a shock to everyone.
This is surreal talk.
Yes. It's a spin-off show.
Oh, that's me. This one is you. Oh yeah, that looks good.
All right. This is 2 weeks in a row we're in the same room.
Yeah, you're welcome to join us for our show later if you want to. I don't know if you're busy or not, but it's up to you.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah, works for me.
I had a date, but she is not responding, so as usual, I may.
You gotta break the streak.
Yeah, I'll probably get
Priorities.
stood up.
Any of our listeners looking for someone like Armand?
Yeah, right. Yes.
He's a very nice guy. He likes long walks on the beach, beautiful
Right.
women, and he's full of all kinds of crazy knowledge. So, I mean,
Yes.
you'll always be into something new because he knows shit that no one else knows.
And we got a lot of the, I got an A in smoking weed. That's funny.
All right.
I don't know, I think it's funny.
Yeah, that's not bad.
I don't know what kind of context it has, but it made me stop and look at it.
Yeah, that definitely caught my eye.
Yeah.
You have a
I
varied
didn't know what I was talking
clientele.
about. Hey, wait, I also have an A in that.
All right.
I thought you taught
Check
the course.
Check 1, 2. Man, my shit seems low. Does that seem low to you?
No, it seems
Oh,
fine.
I like it. Sounds
Really?
very resonant.
Really?
Yes, stress the fricatives. And don't forget the susurrants.
The shussurance. Okay, that's better. I just need to turn my headphones. Okay. The fuck are we doing? Oh, yeah, I got to go start the recording.
Okay. So we caught everyone off guard, huh? They seem to be, they seem to be responding.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
He likes books.
Very loyal
He does
listeners.
like books. Please guest today. Everybody wants you to guest on our show. Yeah, you know he's gonna.
All right, sure. Yeah, I've been stood up. I'm sure. I mean.
Oh, shit. I'll be right back. I got to go get her printouts.
Oh. Are we? So we're not. Are we recording? Because.
I believe we are live.
Oh, okay. Well, you know, because.
Pre-show.
Oh.
Still stream.
All right. You know, I don't know if you've listened to our show, but it's customary to correct some of our mistakes from yesterday.
Oh, that's good.
And we
Though.
had
That's
many.
a very good. That's good.
Yes,
though.
we strive for exactitude on our show. It's a crusade.
You exactitude us.
Against solecisms and other faux pas. Now, you guys probably know this.
Of course we know this. Know what?
Oh, okay. That's
Are we?
I gotta figure it out.
God damn it. New laptop.
We strive for exactitude on our show. It's a crusade.
Guess I only printed one copy of the. Here, I'm gonna make a copy of my copy. Beautiful. Right back.
Now you guys probably know this.
Last name. My last name? Someone said? Kachigian. Kachigian. If you want to look that up on YouTube, you can see my Who Wants to Be a Millionaire show.
Yeah. Dude made it all the way to the $500,000.
We don't want to give it away, do we?
Oh no shit. God, I'm
I
terrible.
got all the way up to
Spoiler alert.
$4,000.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
He
Don't,
freaking does good.
not bad. Reasonably well. Should have done better, though. Still have nightmares once in a while about that. Not a nightmare, but dreams that I'm on it again.
Like what could have been.
Yes.
Right.
And then Meredith and I go up to her room and celebrate.
God damn it! I gotta figure out.
You got to figure it out yet?
Leave me alone, Everett.
It's not hard to mute a computer. Jesus Christ.
Look.
Oh, yeah, hold on function and maybe it'll work. Dipshit.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a tough show today.
Yeah. I can't believe you've been on this the whole time I've been gone.
I was just gonna put my hand over the speaker.
All right, well.
Okay.
I like wearing these headsets. It covers my bald spot. Just perfect. I wear these on my date.
Why are you wearing a headset?
I'm in music,
It's
lady.
cold. It's cold out there.
I got some shit going on. It's
I'm a
not
famous
big deal.
rapper.
I'm listening
right,
to you too, though.
right.
All right, let's hit that. This day in history theme music. Boom, chicka, boom, chick. This
Yeah,
day in history, why we're here is a mystery.
It's all about Armand.
And Tony Show. Hit it.
Yeah, well, Tony's AWOL. That's why we're doing this show today.
Oh.
He didn't show up yesterday. So anyway, faithful listeners of our show know that we started out by correcting some errata. And we had quite a few the other day. Now, you guys probably know this one. I said that Lieutenant Selfridge was killed when he was flying with Wilbur Wright. This is the first air casualty.
Sure.
He was flying with Orville Wright. Orville screwed up and killed Lieutenant Selfridge. That came up because Tony brought up somewhere he found an article saying that some Frenchman was the first aviator killed. Well, I knew that was wrong, but because I knew Lieutenant Selfridge was the first, but we amended it. He was the first aviator means he was flying the plane. Selfridge was a passenger. Wilbur was flying the plane. Wilbur Wright. So it wasn't Orville. I was trying to think of we were talking about Guillaume Apollinaire, French poet, and I was trying to think of a quote I liked by him. You guys should now listen closely and take this advice. Now and then, it's good to pause in our pursuit of happiness and just be happy. What do you think?
I like it.
Not bad for a
makes
Frenchman,
sense.
huh? Okay, had nothing to do with sex either. And by the way, I was calling it. Now I said a numismatist collects coins. Apparently, he collects paper currency too. I didn't think they were the same thing, but because we were wondering what.
You're very thorough.
Well, so I looked it up, and numismatist does both. Speaking of thorough, you guys will love this. We were talking about the assassination of Anton Cermak. I'm sure you know who. Mayor of Chicago. He was in the same car with Franklin Roosevelt down in Miami. Roosevelt had just been elected, 1933. A guy named Giuseppe Zangara, one of our favorite anarchists, tries to kill FDR. Well, he's only a little runt. He's like 5 feet tall, so he's got to stand on a chair to do it. Well, the thing wobbled and he missed and he hit Cermak. And we were debating. Tony asked if he died on the spot. I said he did. I was wrong. He was in writhing agony for several months. Died in March.
Where'd he get hit at?
He apparently got hit. It wasn't. I don't.
I mean,
and
a gut shot, right?
I think he got caught. I think he got caught in the stomach area, the abdomen. But he was going to make it. In fact, his doctor said he died of colitis. He didn't die of the bullet wound anyway. He was recovering from that. Oh. So I would think the doctors probably killed him again. You know, sounds like malpractice to me. Keith Moon was not in Myra Breckinridge. I said Myra Breckinridge. He was in Sextet, Mae West's last movie, where she made a complete fool of herself. She's 80 years old, still trying to be a sex symbol. Yeah, check it out. It's
Some people are into that
revolting.
shit.
Tony also asked why there are no tall buildings in Moscow, which I don't know what the hell he's thinking. There's plenty of the tallest building in Europe is in Moscow. In fact, I think 3 or 4 tallest buildings in Europe are in Moscow, so he's way off there.
I was not aware Moscow was considered Europe.
It is, yeah. Technically, it is Europe. Anything, I believe, west of the Ural Mountains is Europe. Let's see. We had one more. Oh, yeah. There were more Dukes of Norfolk. We were talking about Thomas Howard and the Ridolfi plot in 1571. Basically, this guy, Ridolfi's an Italian banker. He's the money behind this. They're trying to take out Elizabeth and put in Mary Queen of Scots. And Thomas Howard, always on the lookout for an easy way to become king, wants to marry Mary Queen of Scots. Instead, he gets hanged. And I said that was the end of the line of the Howards, but it's not. He was the Duke of Norfolk. And I said that was the end. Well, there were a lot more Dukes of Norfolk, so that was not the end of the line. So I guess you guys are relieved to hear that.
I'm going to sleep better tonight.
Yeah, that's a load off your mind that there's still Dukes of Norfolk running around. Okay, now you guys have the printout. What are we gonna look at?
Well, I guess we should probably say who we are to your normal listeners.
That was quite a prelude, wasn't it?
Yeah. So you're obviously Armand. This is your show.
This is our show. Tony's not here today.
We're Eric and Everett from Surreal Talk.
And we mention you guys all the time. We give you guys plugs because we're trying to catch you. You're number 1. We're number 6, I think.
Hey, man, we'd love for you to be number 1.
In fact, we were talking about a couple of ricin pellets to take you guys out.
Yeah.
Yep, that's right. Remember that Star Trek where they mirror, remember?
Yeah, the original series, yeah.
Yeah, where you move up one grade after everybody gets killed, so everybody's trying to kill each other.
You're gonna need to grow a goatee.
Yeah.
When you're in the mirror universe, you have a goatee because you're the evil version of yourself.
Right.
And that means a goatee.
Remember that episode?
No,
You
I
didn't
did
watch
not.
the original
They look like Klingons, more or less.
In Deep Space Nine, they had 3 or 4 episodes where they went back over to that same mirror universe. It was great.
Now, I was reading on that. Now, apparently that was, you've seen The City on the Edge of Forever? The one where he goes back with Joan Collins.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that was apparently that story, because there's like gravitational waves and waves in time and stuff. So the guy originally wrote that script. It was supposed to be mirror, mirror kind of thing. They went into this alternative universe, and they said, they didn't like that. So I think it was D.C. Fontana wrote that one.
Wow.
So they did that episode, and then they kind of used that idea and said, hey, that's not a bad idea. Let's do this. So they're kind of, similar.
Love good info on Star Trek.
Yes, Star Trek. And Scotty didn't have, his third finger? Which one was missing?
I was not aware that Doohan was missing anything.
No, he lost it on D-Day.
I did not
He
know
got
that.
shot off.
Wow.
Yeah. James Doohan. Yeah, I think he was a Utah.
Leonard
Beach.
Nimoy was missing a testicle.
Was he really?
No, I
Him
made
and
that
Hitler.
You made that up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
That's
could
cool.
just tell by the tone of your voice you made that up.
Yeah, well.
Well, so what? Our listeners. Well, hey, listen, our listeners check.
Right.
So that's why we do these
Well,
corrections.
I would never just let that go.
So what do you guys got then? Let's get to the dates. The date is September 8th.
So-
We're a day behind.
Here,
Oh,
I
you gotta
will.
give
I
me
will
the-
roll over to you so you can
Okay.
see what we got at the same
All right.
time.
Oh wow, this is cozy.
Well, you guys should see what I'm seeing.
Well, you're the one with the psychedelic keyboard. Let's see. Battle of Hu Yi. We don't need to care about that.
No, we don't care about Ballyhoo.
An anti-pope, Theodoric.
Anti-pope.
Yeah, and there's popes, anti-popes. There's Ravenna. There was the Avignon. They had
What exactly does an anti-pope do?
Well, he does whatever the hell he wants because he's not beholden to the real pope.
Fair enough.
It was after the schism, and this is for a couple centuries. Things were going there were times when there were 3 popes.
I was unaware of that.
Yeah,
Oh, shit. Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
any one of them was better than the one we have now. That's my
Really?
opinion.
You don't like the one we got
No,
now?
I know he's a global warming nut. All right, let's see.
Yeah, he's very liberal.
Yeah, well, that's okay
He
with
is.
me, but here, Pope John the 21st is chosen, 1276. I've got the first one I really wanted to get into, and this is kind of, let's see.
What, Wikipedia too deep for you?
Yeah, well, some of these are
That's all
rather
we got,
trifling. How about, let's see, the Knights of Malta. You guys know that one, lays siege. What would you guys like to discuss? Well, Michelangelo's David, 1504.
There's a good story about David. You know the
Okay.
story about how he was looking at the giant chunk of marble and he stared at it for like an entire year and somebody asked him, "What do you do?" And he's like, "I'm carving my masterpiece." And you're like, "No, it's just a block of wood or rock." Well, he just did it the entire thing in his mind.
Yeah, that's
and
what
then
they
just
said.
chipped it away.
That's
It's
crazy.
all in there. He's just removing the extra.
Yeah, that's what right. That's kind of what they asked him. How do you do your sculptures? Is I remove what's the extraneous marble, and it's white marble, which is Carrara white marble, the whitest, and the most expensive. And I think it stands about 18 feet tall. Originally, I don't think it's. Where is this? It's in the. Where's that? Fiora. It's in. Where's the place it is? Where is this? Piazza della Signoria in Florence. He eventually, I think originally he wanted to put it in the Duomo in Florence, which is a cathedral. But they put it here. Now, actually, it's been attacked a couple of times. That one crazy guy knocked the toe off, remember, with a sledgehammer?
No, I didn't.
Yeah. So they had to, they called in a podiatrist and fix that up. So
Yeah,
I wasn't consulted on that
It's
case.
like it had to be to scale, you know.
Right. It had to be, the toenail had to be
Oh, shit.
lifelike.
Here's a good one.
Okay.
This day in history, or well, yesterday, I guess at this point.
Yeah.
1883, the Northern Pacific Railway was completed in a ceremony at Gold Creek, Montana. Former President Ulysses S. Grant drove in the final Golden Spike in an event. It's the Golden Spike ceremony.
Yeah.
You remember that from our social studies books?
I do.
Now,
That's a
wait a
big
minute.
deal.
I thought that was before that, though.
Well, that's
This is the Golden Spike I always thought of.
is that Colorado?
Um,
Wyoming?
No, it was in Utah. It was
Utah?
at Promontory Point in Utah.
I guess, the
That's-
final Golden Spike. So
Okay.
it probably wasn't the first Golden Spike.
Because that was,
Damn.
I think that was the meeting of the Central and the
Failure.
Northern Pacific or whatever where they met, the Transcontinental Railroad.
Oh, yeah. Transcontinental.
If you watch Go West with the Marx Brothers, they show him driving the Golden Spike and he misses and he drives the mayor down into the
How can you
ground.
tell it's golden if it's black and white?
That's a good question. It shimmered. Let's see. I've got. How about the Morro Castle fire? Well, we're moving along there, aren't we? We try to go in order somewhat, but since we have two neophytes on the show today,
Oh, thanks.
we'll. Yeah, I'm one of them. We'll
Uh-oh.
just kind of go see the Battle of. Let's see, Battle of Warsaw. That's interesting. Insurrection in Poland, apparently in 1831. I was going to talk about now. Wasn't William IV? Didn't he have his coronation today? Am I way off? Is that 1830?
Yes, that's 1831.
Because I have his name written down somewhere, and usually that's how I
1831.
remind myself. William IV was, I believe, let's see now, House of Hanover, brother of George IV, who was kind of a wastrel and spendthrift. You know, the guy, like on his coronation, he spent, I don't know how many £100,000. And William IV said, I don't even want to have a coronation. Just now you got to have one. So he had kind of a cheapie on the fly coronation. But what he lacked in being, throwing money around, he more than made up for in being a philanderer. He had, what's his name? What was the name of his girlfriend? Dorothea Jordan, I believe,
It
an
says here
actress.
it's Adelaide.
No, that's his wife. Okay,
Oh.
yeah, that was the wife. His mistress, who was much more important, was Dorothea Jordan, who he had like 10 kids with. And this is interesting. You know what? When you hear of Fitz, somebody Fitzroy, Fitz this.
Yeah,
name-
easy. Yeah.
Well, his kids were named Fitz. He was Duke of Clarence, so his kids were named Fitz Clarence, which means basically they're bastards. That's what Fitz means.
Neither of you guys watch Game of Thrones, but bastards are a huge deal in that.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't watch it, but
Bastards
are they
are
named
a huge-
Fitz?
Bastards are
No,
huge.
like your last name is always from where you're at. Like, so if you're in the north, you're born in the north, you're a bastard named Snow. If you're born in the south where there's a desert, you're a bastard named Sand.
Okay.
If you're born in the wetlands and the riverlands, they call it your Rivers. Is your last name?
Oh, okay. Well, I always thought, now if you see, there's Fitz Clarence are all these kids. Anyway, and then, of course, John Fitzgerald Kennedy. So apparently somebody was a bastard in his family. Of course, Fitzgerald comes from Honey Fitz, who is his mother's side. That was the big mayor of Boston, complete crook. And
Wasn't JFK's middle name Fitzgerald?
right, that's what I'm saying. That's where he got it.
Gotcha.
Fitzgerald's the mother's side. So I was going to talk about William IV, big Navy guy. Actually, I think he partook in a few some battles in the Navy. They called him the Admiral King, I think, or something. He had some sobriquet. Anyway, that's our friend William IV. Of course, after he died, he was like 64 when he took over, so he didn't have long to go, and he died, and Victoria took over. Anyway, this Adeline of what's her name? Adelaide of Meiningen or something like that.
Yeah, I got it right here. Of Saxe-Meiningen.
Saxe-Meiningen, right? German, of course. She, Adelaide in Australia.
No.
It's capital of South Australia. That's named after Adelaide. This Adelaide.
That shows me I don't know my Australian geography as well as I
Yeah.
thought I did.
And Western Australia's capital is Perth, by the
Perth,
way.
right, yeah.
Northern Territory is Darwin.
Right.
Okay, so we got enough of that. We got that out of the way. What's next?
You tell me, buddy.
I don't know. I mean,
I got one, but it's way later.
Okay,
than
go
where
ahead.
We're at. No, it's my time to shine, man. No.
yeah, come bring
Okay,
it
so
up.
check it out. This day in history,
I love saying that.
the non-canon book by Ian Dosher is released September 8, 2015. This is interesting. Now check it out. Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, written by William Shakespeare. So what they did was they actually wrote the entire play, the movie, just like William Shakespeare would have wrote it. So it's like
With that kind of dialogue?
exactly, yeah, it's really cool.
Have you read it?
I have not. I read
the
a couple
high ground.
excerpts from it. It's actually called William Shakespeare's Tragedy of the Sith's Revenge, Star Wars Part the Third.
Ah.
So it's just a reimagining
rather
of
Shakespearean.
the Revenge of the Sith movie, but they do it in the entire dialogue like that.
Well, have you guys ever seen Forbidden Planet with Walter Pidgeon? Remember the 1956, Leslie Nielsen?
No, sir.
And you guys call yourself sci-fi guys?
No,
You ever
I
seen
do.
Forbidden
but
Planet?
I'm a bitch at it.
But anyway, it's a sci-fi movie, but it's basically Shakespeare's The Tempest, set in space.
Yeah, I mean, like this. So here's an excerpt from it.
All right, let's hear it.
The curtain rises once again on that star-crossed galaxy far, far away. This time, the chronicle, the once heroic...
Is this the crawl?
Yeah, this is the crawl, exactly what this is, yeah. The once heroic knight's transformation unto the darkest of villains. William Shakespeare's Tragedy of the Sith's Revenge is the climactic conclusion of the fall of the House of Skywalker. Isn't that great how they the fall of the House of Skywalker?
Yeah, that's pretty creative.
I thought that was awesome.
I like that. Now, have you guys ever heard of this, where these destroyers were killed? I mean, these destroyers ran aground. Yeah, let's see. I didn't even write it down. What was it called? It was in California. The oh God, how can I? The Honda Point disaster.
Yeah.
Never heard of that?
1923.
Yeah, is it on the list?
It's on the list.
Oh, yeah, there it is.
I don't want to portray that I know exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I
well,
read it right here.
I've heard of it because I've been there. I've seen it. It's not too far from Lompoc, California.
How the hell do 9 destroyers run aground?
That's a good one. That's a good question. Yeah, the Navigator. Yeah, there were some heads rolling over this. 23 sailors died. They think a lot of it has to do, though. It was just a few days after the big. What was it? The Kanto earthquake. You know, with it leveled
Really?
Tokyo, and the only building that was still up was the Imperial Hotel that Frank Lloyd Wright designed to be earthquake-proof.
So what are they saying that like the
The
water
tsunami,
receded because
yeah.
of the tsunami and
The
that caused them to
tsunami
go
messed them up, but I think it was a lot of pilot error.
Man, I watched some tsunami videos after that earthquake. You know the earthquake that just hit the other morning in
Mexico?
Mexico.
Yeah.
And so like got me thinking like so I'm watching like the Japanese tsunami and stuff. That shit is just crazy gnarly, man. How that happened? Like 13 minutes from start until it was the most powerful water I've ever seen around this guy. 13 minutes from nothing to that. You know,
Well, that one on was it Christmas? How else has it been? It's been 10 years now, maybe more. That killed like 500,000 people. And that was one hell of a tsunami.
yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, they're
Like,
deadly, man, because they are so fast, and a wall of water just
well, the one
appears.
the Miyagi. It's I maybe remember it was Mr. Miyagi, but
Mr.
that's
Miyagi,
the town of the city that it really hit, and they had showed 128-foot wall of water coming. It didn't look like that to me. It looked like to be about 50, but of course that was from a guy that's recording up high. But it's just like so the front of the water was flowing, and then like 50 feet behind the front there were houses. That's how destructive it was. As soon as it hit, it was pulling everything with it at one time.
That's what they do.
Very nuts.
the forces of nature, which you guys I think are describing today, or maybe they're not the forces of nature. That's the question.
Speaking of that, in 1900, on this day yesterday, anyway, the Galveston Hurricane happened. It was a powerful hurricane that hit Galveston, Texas, and killed 8,000 people.
The worst disaster in the United States history. Yeah, weather-related disaster. Probably by far. I don't think anyone's going to come close to 8,000 people. That's a pretty nasty one.
That's well before HARP and what we're going to be talking about later today, though.
Really? You sure? Are you sure?
Well, I mean, yes.
I don't know.
Yes, I am.
What kind of birthdays do we have today? I got a couple here.
Birthdays.
Pledge Allegiance was first recited today.
Oh, yeah. I think that was the one. Now, it didn't have Under God, of course, because that came later. And I don't even think it was the one by Francis Bellamy. Didn't he embellish it? Some other guy. I was always, the trivia question is who wrote it? Francis Bellamy. But I think some other guy actually did the first one, and then he kind of changed it.
Really?
So does it say on your notes who, does it mention Bellamy?
No, we have printed Wikipedia. It's probably blue. Can you look at it on Wikipedia?
Yeah, go ahead. Click on that. Right? Is that what they do, E?
Yeah, it's not
Look.
working.
It's blue. I highlight
God.
it. I try to click it in real life, Everett.
Oh, how about the Morro Castle fire? Something for you guys to look into.
Let's hear it. What's it about?
Well, the captain had a heart attack, so they didn't get off to an auspicious start. So the first mate, I guess, is in charge, and all of a sudden there's a fire on this thing. Killed, I don't know, 137. Does it say how many it killed? Over 100 people died. The Morro Castle. It was a cruise ship from I think New York to Cuba, and right off Asbury Park, they had that fire and they ran it aground. They had to scuttle it. So that didn't work out.
What a bummer.
Yeah, the Morro Castle. So boy, we're all over tragedies today, aren't we?
Tragedy follows you, Armand. I don't know what it is.
Yeah. Oh, you weren't kidding. A dark day. I was born under a dark star. Let's see here. Let's see. Birthdays?
I got one, 1945.
Who is it?
Ron Pigpen McKernan, my namesake. Ron Pigpen McKernan, he was the original keyboardist and organist for the Grateful Dead.
Oh, okay.
He died when he was 27 years old, liver failure. He was a real bad drunk. But he was the original soul of the Grateful Dead, the front man. Before it was Jerry Garcia. Pigpen was the
Weir,
guy.
right?
Bob Weir's another. He's the rhythm guitarist.
Yeah.
But he would. He was a real big blues guy. That's why a lot of their old songs are like, ooh, blues type of songs, because that's what he was into. He was a drunk guy. He was real into the black culture, and that's just how he was. He was a guy who would rather sit around and sip wine than go out and do the hippie thing, which was real popular at the time in San Francisco. But that's my namesake. If you guys ever hear me referred to as Pigpen,
I never heard anybody call you
Eric
that.
calls me
That's
that.
a good one. I like it.
That's my online handle. That's what I go by.
When we first started doing Surreal Talk, because of the headphones, it's like so much like online video games that when I would...
Which we're used to talking to each other playing video games.
It sounds just like this. He coming through my headphones. So when I hear him, I'm like, Pigpen. It took me a few episodes to actually not call him Pigpen.
I think I like it better.
Oh, great. Thanks. What else we got for
I
this
don't know. Let's
day?
see.
Birthdays. Let's shuffle some
Lyndon
papers.
LaRouche. This guy's still alive. He's run for president like 14 times. Never heard of this guy? He's a socialist. Ann Lee in 17. Oh, no, she died. Now we're gonna get some deaths here.
Yay.
I got Siegfried Sassoon, World War I poet. I don't know if you guys are familiar with any of his poetry.
Nope.
He's got a keyboard just like yours. You know what I mean? Yeah, he slept with a couple of these other guys. There's no atheists in the foxholes where there's no heterosexuals in the trenches.
Is that true?
I don't know.
I've never been
in the trenches.
I've never been to war.
Siegfried Sassoon has some good friends in the trenches, but he made it. He's one of the few that actually. Rupert Brooke was killed. He got a mosquito bite and killed him on Gallipoli, and who was the other guy? Wilfred Owen. All these great World War I poets died, but Sassoon slept with Wilfred Owen. But he made it. He died in 1967. Robert A. Taft, the Ohio senator, Mr. Republican, they used to call him, I believe. Oh, have you ever heard of the Shakers?
No.
Okay, we're getting on deaths now. Ann Lee, founder of the Shakers.
Oh, I had a few more birthdays.
Okay, go ahead. Who you got?
David Arquette, as we all know.
Oh, yeah.
One of the best actors of all time.
Are you serious?
No, not at
That's
all.
being charitable.
Yes,
Right. Very charitable.
Yeah.
Eight-Legged Freaks. You ever see that? What about Dewey?
That was Scream, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was a scary movie, I think.
Scary movie.
Yeah. Reporting for duty, third.
And Pink.
Pink?
Pink, huh?
Pink,
Pink?
she sings that, I'm coming up.
Oh, okay. What's her real name? Does it say?
No, that is her real
assuming.
name.
She's
That's a
dating
real
that
name.
she was married to that Carrie Hart guy, right? That BMX rider.
Yeah, I don't know if they're married anymore.
That maybe.
else we
Wiz
got on here?
Khalifa was born today.
Oh yeah.
Very
He's a. Oh no, that's BB or BOB.
I don't know much about Wiz Khalifa. I know he's a rapper, hangs out with Snoop Dogg.
He's a very big proponent for marijuana.
Yeah, I know that too.
I think we welcome him on this show, don't we? I don't think we have
No, we welcome
any
anybody.
quibble with that.
Obviously, I'm here.
I've never heard of any of these people. Jeez, Lisa Kennedy Montgomery.
Yeah, September
What
8th
is-
was a turd of a day throughout history.
Wow.
We could make
No
some
wonder
shit
Tony.
up.
No wonder Tony didn't show up.
Yeah, he's like, fuck that.
Yeah. What do you got on the deaths? Let me see.
I'm looking. I don't see anybody notable.
Arbogast. Oh, we were talking about him, the Frankish general. I think he was at the Battle of the Frigidus. Constantine took on Arbogast and Argentius. A clash between the Eastern and Western Roman empires. It wasn't Constantine. Theodosius. Theodosius won. He was the last emperor of both East and West. And that was kind of it was an interesting battle because Theodosius was a Christian and Arbogast and I just said his name. Argentius were the heathen. They were they had like Jupiter and Hercules on their shields. Yeah, they were the old. They want to go back to the old Roman gods, and some people might say they were better gods. But anyway, apparently there's this. The problem was the wind was blowing against them. So Argentius and Arbogast and their arrows. Now this is probably apocryphal. Maybe if you have a history with medieval war weapons or classical weapons, the arrows apparently the wind blew them right back at the archers. I can't imagine a wind blew that hard.
No way, man.
But anyway, it did help the other side because their
That'd
arrow.
have to be some strong fucking wind.
yeah,
There was a hurricane that day.
Right. Well, anyway, it seems
Harp caused it.
Harp. Weather manipulation.
Yeah, there you go. Right. Harp in history. That'd be a good show. Anyway, the archers on Theodosius' side, their arrows flew farther. They won the battle. So our Christian God is stronger than Jupiter.
That's the way it works.
So we settled that. And Arbogast was put to flight, and he got killed. So let's see. That's him. Interesting guy. Although if we go into that battle a little bit farther, the interesting thing about that was it also led kind of directly to Theodosius using more barbarians in the Roman army. That wasn't good because they weren't real. Yeah, they weren't real.
Hey, they're
reliable.
cheaper than training regular soldiers.
Exactly,
man.
right. Yeah, and then, it was kind of like the Civil War. If you got enough money, you don't go in the army. So you just put a barbarian in there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, like I said, they just had this
Isn't that what
bad
Trump
habit.
did? Isn't that what Trump did?
What?
Oh.
Well, Bush.
You got enough money, you don't go in the army.
Right.
What do you take, 3 or 4
Or you get in
deferments?
the National Guard,
Huh?
So anyway, let's see who else we got here. How about some deaths? How about Alex North? I don't know if you guys know him. His music. You ever watch Spartacus, the movie?
No, the Kirk Douglas one?
Yeah.
No,
He did the
no.
music. It's great. Great music. Great conductor, composer. Let's see. Leni Riefenstahl.
Nope.
Ever seen Triumph of the Will?
Nope.
The movie about Hitler coming to the Nuremberg rally. They banned this movie in Germany for like 40 or 50 years because they're afraid it's so stirring that it was
Cause
a good
an
way to
uprising?
get more Nazis. Yeah, people be joining the Nazi party again.
They get real bent out of shape over there anytime you bring up Nazi stuff.
Yeah, well, Leni Riefenstahl was like, she's this Aryan woman, tall Aryan blonde, and I think Hitler and she. Yeah, they did it.
You know what? I heard he had a micro penis. I'm just going to throw it out there, right?
Well, I've heard that, and one testicle. Yeah,
Yeah, like that was why he was
Leonard
so mad.
Nimoy syndrome.
Yeah.
I have another birthday for today.
LNS.
Okay.
Bernie Sanders, Vermont senator and presidential candidate of last year.
And
born on
Bernie Sanders.
Yeah, you don't recognize it.
yes, and victim of political
Socialist.
hoodwinking.
Gosh, he
Socialist.
was.
That's the guy.
Yes, he and Lyndon LaRouche. Oh, 1934. Carl Weiss. Now this guy, remember? I think was it on your show or E? Were you talking about? Remember I told you about David Rizzio, who's got the record for being stabbed 56 times.
No, but that's beautiful. You told me about that the other day.
Holy
didn't
shit.
you?
Well, I think this guy's got the record for being shot 60 times.
Nice.
Was he stabbed in one session? 56. Like
Multiple people.
It was Mary Queen of Scots, quote, secretary. Real nice. Anyway, her husband didn't quite like him, Lord Darnley. So they caught him one night and stabbed him. Him and his buddies stabbed him 56 times.
Wow.
So anyway, but this guy, Carl Weiss, Huey Long is the governor of
The doctor? Weiss?
no, Huey Long was the governor of Louisiana. Now he's a senator. He's going to run against FDR in 1936 because he's pissed off about the New Deal. And a lot of people love this guy. He's a share the wealth kind of guy, more or less a socialist.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, this guy was kind of ruthless in his climb to the top, if you can call being governor of Louisiana at the top. But anyway, he busted a lot of heads. He had a lot of bodyguards. Anyway, he ruined a guy. This Carl Weiss's father-in-law was a doctor. No, excuse me. Carl Weiss was a doctor. Ear, nose, and throat man. Never trust that specialty. Anyway.
Foot doctors for life.
Podiatrists are loyal.
Yeah.
Yes. But Carl Weiss's dad was a judge. Apparently, Huey Long got him, I don't know, kicked out or something, whatever. This guy was pissed. On the stairs of the Capitol building in Baton Rouge, Weiss shoots Huey Long, supposedly, and then Huey Long's bodyguards shoot him 60 times. Now, here's the conspiracy,
Fucking
though.
brutal.
You guys ought to check into this because Carl Weiss's son claims his dad never had a gun. Never used a gun, never wanted to shoot anybody.
He was a patsy? Is that what the kid's saying?
Yeah, they say that somehow this, because FDR, because this guy, Huey Long, was probably what he was going to do was run as a third party candidate in 1936, which would have lost for Roosevelt, for sure, because he had taken all of his votes. So who was the guy that was, Alf Landon, the Republican, would have won. And then in 40, Long would have run again, and he figured he'd win. So they think it might have been FDR behind this, and they think maybe the bodyguards, either on purpose or maybe by mistake, shot Huey Long.
Oh, that's
But
interesting.
Anyway, it probably wasn't Carl Weiss. So that's kind of a conspiracy
Why
theory.
the shit would they shoot him 60 times, though?
60 times.
I mean,
That's not just covering up the story,
Anything worth doing is worth doing right.
Apparently, there's still some bullet holes in that, that state capitol where you can see where they just unloaded on everybody.
They didn't get it done, though, right?
Yeah.
Well, listen, if you're going to do it right.
Right.
So that's anybody else? Anything else? Anything interesting strike you guys?
No, sir. No, September 8th is not my favorite day at all.
Oh, Richard Strauss. Great composer.
Yeah, German guy.
Here's a trivia question. The first long play record was Richard Strauss's Alpine Symphony.
Can you hum a few bars?
No, I don't like that symphony.
Oh.
No, I got Anton Devore down here too.
mean,
Was he born on this
vary.
date?
Anton Dvorak died.
Oh, did he? What year? Do you see it? He's one of my
70s, 60s?
He's one of my favorite composers.
I don't know.
Probably the early 19th century, right?
I don't remember. I remember seeing the name, though.
Maybe he was born, because anyway. Anton Dvorak, check out his violin concerto and his cello concerto. And for all you opera fans, Rusalka, pretty good opera, if you can understand Czech. Where is he? I don't know why I have him down here. He's got to be born or died today, right?
Anton Dvorak.
There
right?
he is, 1841. He was born. Birthday. He came to the United States. He was actually a conductor at the New York Philharmonic for a while. Came out, and his most famous work is called the New World Symphony, because he came to the New World and wrote a symphony, composed a symphony.
He's a gruff-looking dude.
That was a clever, not just a clever title then.
Yeah, and he also had an American quartet, which is came to America, wrote a quartet.
Wow,
isn't that thoughtful?
Gosh, he's not very creative with his.
Well, of course, he didn't have a great intro song like you guys.
Thanks, man.
Like yours today.
I ever put that together.
Let's see. Anything else? Howard Dietz, songwriter. I can't really name anything
Howard
by
Dean.
him.
Wow.
Howard Dean.
That's all I remember.
Remember that? Yeah. That was after his Iowa.
Yeah, that was a great speech, man. It was going good right till the very end.
Boy, what got into him?
What a rousing speech that was until.
God, he needed a sedative. So anyway, Richard I. Speaking of our LGBT friends,
Dick.
Yeah, Richard I was born 1157. Now this is Richard the Lionheart.
Right. He fought with William Wallace and all that. Yeah.
No, that was Edward I.
Oh,
that was
Longshanks.
Edward Longshanks. Yeah. Richard I.
Lionheart. That's from the Robin Hood shit, right?
That was you're thinking of Braveheart.
No. Yeah. Don't let me interrupt you anymore. I'm an asshole.
He was portrayed, like when you do the Robin Hood movies, they're always trying to say because he was captured on the way back from the Crusade.
That's what I was saying. Robin Hood.
Right, exactly. They're trying to get the Austrian Leopold of Austria captured him on the way back from the Crusades, which really accomplished very little. Richard just liked to kill people.
He was just gone for so long anyway. People were ruling in his stead.
Yeah, I think in fact even I don't even know. I don't know if he spent even a year in England when he was king, because he was, like I said, he was roaming all over France, killing people. Eleanor of Aquitaine, his mother, was regent. She was the one that kind of was watching over the country.
Queen regent.
And then John, of course, when you watch these Robin Hood, while he's gone, his brother John takes over. Remember, usurps the throne. So it's always, King John, although he forgave him. Nice brother.
I could bring up so many Game of Thrones things and references.
Oh, really? I don't. But
you should watch Game of Thrones. It is stooped in history.
Yeah, but
it's completely built off of history, more or less.
Steeped in history.
No, it's stooped.
Stooped would be what
they
do
bend down
when you take a dump,
and then they write
pen.
it. But, that's mean.
So
that's mean.
Anyway, what were we talking? Richard I. Anyway, he had a little thing with Philip of France. They were good friends.
Better than good.
Yeah, naturally he didn't leave any heirs because he's not that way.
Right.
But interesting way he died though. He's on the parapets of some castle, I think, it might have been Anjou or Aquitaine somewhere, Angevin, wherever it's somebody, or that one he was always fighting for, the Vexin, it was called. He was always fighting for that. But anyway, he's on the castle parapets, walking around, always checking his guys. Sees some crossbowman that he doesn't think is at attention or something, or checking his bolt, who knows what, or probably just feeling him up, and some little, 10, 12-year-old kid fires a crossbow at him, hits him in the shoulder, and apparently Richard had killed his dad, so all his guys get this kid, and the doctor, of course, medicine being in its infancy, didn't pull the thing out quite right and snapped it off in his neck. Richard's dying, says, listen, I got respect for this kid, don't touch him, In fact, he gave him 20 shillings or something.
Wow.
So then he dies, and then they hack the kid apart.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So
Take the 20 shillings, too.
Yeah, I think they probably took that back, too.
Just to show you, history is
There you
generally
go.
better than the movies.
Yeah. Now put that on Game of Thrones. So that's the way Richard I died.
Yeah. Watch it and let me know if they need to put anything else gory or gruesome in there.
Yeah.
You ever seen a horse get its head cut off with a sword?
No.
Well,
I think
same.
You haven't lived until you've seen equestrian snuff films. I'm just saying.
I wait. Well, I have that one with the 2 nuns and a donkey.
This has been a good show. We should probably end it on the donkey.
I think that may.
reference.
We're starting to. We're getting in the gutter now.
All right,
But anyway,
you'll be
that's
back
a
on Monday
little
with Tony, I guess.
Taste of. I don't know if he's going to show up.
He'll be in
Monday would be a very good this day in history.
Monday. We're busy too.
Oh, that's right.
We're all in meetings Monday, so
correct.
you might be back on Tuesday.
9/11.
Ooh, Monday is 9/11.
Oh, really? I'm surprised you guys aren't. Well, you guys have already done a show at least on one on that, right?
Yeah, we have.
Maybe next
If you
year.
can call a conspiracy a favorite,
Oh, I'm sure.
that one's it.
Would you say would we say popular? I don't know what most controversial. Like, would it be the moon landing?
The moon landing is very, very popular and controversial. Yeah, that one gets a lot of play. A lot of people buy into that, but there's just so much to it that people are making videos and articles all the time debunking different.
Well, I was
things.
asking which one's your most probably listened to show? What would it have been? Would it have been one of those?
On YouTube, it's the Chris Benoit.
Yeah, YouTube would the
You're
Chris
kidding.
Benoit slayed all, but
Yeah.
podcast wise, I don't even know what our most popular, most downloaded. one is.
I don't know. I don't keep track of that really. The older it is, the more downloads it has. It's pretty much how it works.
Well, you got some great listeners. They can probably, maybe they'll
There's favorites
take a
out
vote.
there.
Yeah.
That happens once or twice a week on the group. People say, "What's your favorite episode?" I mean,
Oh,
it could
okay.
be the Kennedy, 9/11,
Kennedy,
time
9/11,
travel.
we're good.
fucking
We got to do a redux
aliens,
on time
ghosts.
travel.
People like the Satanist shows. I don't know. It's varied.
Well, so our Hollywood episode didn't come in the top 10.
Hollyweird was pretty good actually.
Yeah.
The
That
death
did,
of
that did pretty
Thelma
good.
Todd.
Hollyweird death. That was a good
Yeah.
one.
Well, you guys got to look into the Huey Long assassination and
Yeah, that's
check
interesting.
That.
60 freaking bullets later. Anyway. All right. Thanks for
All
having us on,
right,
Armand.
hey, no,
Yeah, thank you. Thank
thanks
you for having
being
us
here.
on.
All right. Now what are you guys going to do?
We are going.
We got to get some food.
Oh, okay, yeah, I'm with that.
I got to get some food in me, and then we got to get final prep for our show later. We should be back around 3 o'clock Central Time. That's about 2.5 hours for those of you watching on the stream. Today we are talking harp and weather manipulation. We're going to call the episode Big Brother Nature.
Yes, it should be a real good one.
So we'll see you guys all here in about 2.5 hours.
All right.
Fitting in the title, Armand, Big Brother Nature.
Right.